Greetings and welcome again to my podcast. This is Pastor Richard Seafried, and I'm delighted to be able to bring you a Bible study from our home right here in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And we get to the end of the summer, and we've been working our way this last month through the Gospel of John, looking at the 7 miracles that are recorded in the Gospel of John. And today we come to number 4 of those 7 miracles, and let me read to you from John chapter 6. After these things, Jesus went over the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great multitude followed him because they saw his miracles that he did on them that were diseased. And Jesus went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. And the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was nigh. When Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company come to him, he said to Philip, "Whence shall we buy bread that these may eat?" This he said to prove him, for he himself knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth of bread is not sufficient for them, that everyone may take just a little. One of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto him, "There is a lad here that has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but what are they among so many?" Jesus said, "Make the men to sit down." Now there was much grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000. Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down, and likewise the fishes as much as they would. And when they were filled, he said unto the disciples, "Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost." Therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. Then those men, when they saw the miracle that Jesus did, said, "This is of a truth the prophet that should come into the world." Several things worthy of note here. First of all, by way of review, this is the 4th miracle. In the first miracle, Jesus is demonstrating that he has the power to change people's lives by turning the water into wine. He took that which was ordinary and made it something special. And that's what God does when he saves a soul. He takes ordinary people, saves them from their sin, transforms their lives, and makes them into valuable vessels fit for his use. And so Jesus, dear friend, wants to change your life. Number 2, the healing of the nobleman's son proves that Jesus wants you to believe his words. Remember, the guy said, if Lord, just follow me back to Capernaum that you might heal my son. And Jesus didn't do that. Instead, he just spoke the word, "Go your way, your son lives." And it says the man believed his words and went his way. You know, the Lord wants you to trust in his word. Just believe in his word. It's interesting. Jesus said in that context, "Except you see signs and wonders, you will not believe." It's amazing. People today, they want miracles from God, but they won't trust in the message of the Word of God. Number 3, the healing of the impotent man, the paralyzed man that was at the pool of Bethesda. And Jesus wants you to learn something from that. Stop trying to save yourself. 38 years that guy tried to get into the water by himself. And of course, being paralyzed, he couldn't do it. And Jesus proves to us that salvation is not of works, lest any man should boast. Just trust in the Lord and in his power to do what you can't do yourself. Now, this 4th miracle, the feeding of the 5,000, has a distinct purpose. And the purpose is to teach and illustrate the truth that Jesus is the bread of life. All of chapter 5, Jesus is teaching that he's the bread of life come down from heaven. He said in John 6:35, "I am the bread of life." And, It's what's amazing is the miracles always go together with the message. Jesus didn't just do miracles because he had pity on people or felt sorry for them or just wanted to be a good humanitarian. Jesus did the miracles he did to prove a great truth. He fed 5,000. Why? To prove that he was the bread of life. In John chapter 8, Jesus said, I'm the light of the world. And he proved it in John 9 by healing the man that was born blind. In John 10, Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. And in John 19, he proves it by laying down his life on the cross. In John 11, Jesus said to Mary and Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. And he proved it by raising Lazarus from the dead. Never separate the miracles Jesus did from the message that he gave. Now here then, we have the purpose of this miracle was to prove who he was, the bread of life. Notice, secondly, the possibility of this miracle. It was only made possible because a little lad gave up his lunch that day in order to help Jesus perform this miracle. You know, what little we have, if we turn it over to God, can do great things. God specializes in taking our little things and making them great and doing great miracles. Jesus took a little boy's slingshot and he slew a giant. Jesus took a shepherd's rod, put it in the hand of Moses, and he parted the Red Sea. And Jesus can take whatever little thing and whatever little gift you might have to offer him and do great things. The third thing, I not only see the purpose of this miracle and the possibility, but also the partnership involved in this miracle. Did you notice that, of course, Jesus performed the miracle, but he used the disciples to pass out the bread, to distribute it. They sat down in companies of 50, 5,000 people, all divided into little groups of 50. And the disciples' job was to take the broken bread and pass it out. And what is our ministry and what is our mission today? Is to take the bread of life, take Jesus to a world that is hungering and thirsting for spiritual things, and to pass out that bread to those that are dying. May God help us to accomplish that purpose for which he's called us. So there's a lot of just practical lessons we can learn from this miracle of the feeding of the 5,000. Well, may the Lord richly bless you, and I trust that you have a good day. And Lord willing, next time, a couple weeks from now, I'll post another one of these Bible studies.